What if the next Sony camera makes your current high-resolution setup feel unfinished? Because that is exactly the feeling creeping through the photography world right now. Leaks around the Sony A7R VI suggest something far bigger than a routine refresh. This is not just about adding more megapixels. This is about Sony quietly rewriting what a high-resolution mirrorless camera is supposed to be. Today, we are breaking down what the rumored 80-megapixel A7R VI could mean, why it matters, and whether it is actually worth waiting for. At the center of these leaks is a next-generation backside illuminated sensor pushing close to 80 megapixels. On paper, that sounds like a simple numbers game. In reality, it is much more interesting than that. Insiders are pointing to major improvements in dynamic range, color depth, and low-light performance, all while dramatically improving sensor readout speed. That last part is crucial. Rolling shutter has always been the Achilles heel of ultra-high-resolution cameras. If Sony has genuinely solved this, the A7R VI could handle movement in a way that previous R-series bodies simply could not. This is the difference between a studio-only camera and something far more versatile. Now here is where things start to feel a little unreal. Sony is rumored to be introducing a new AI-driven autofocus system that goes well beyond what the A7R V already offers. The tracking is said to recognize humans, animals, birds, insects, vehicles, and aircraft with improved accuracy at extreme resolutions. The promise here is confidence. Confidence that an 80-megapixel file will actually be sharp where it matters. High-resolution cameras have always forced a compromise between detail and speed. The A7R VI looks like Sony is trying to erase that compromise entirely. Historically, the A7R line has been photography first, video second. That may finally change. Leaks suggest 8K video at up to 30 frames per second with minimal crop, oversampled 4K at higher frame rates, internal 10-bit recording, and Sony's professional color profiles. More importantly, the faster sensor readout could dramatically reduce rolling shutter in video. Combine that with improved heat management, and suddenly the A7R VI stops feeling like a stills camera with video features and starts looking like a genuine hybrid tool. That is a big shift in identity for this lineup. So what does all of this actually mean if you are deciding between the A7R V and waiting? On paper, the A7R VI clearly pushes further with resolution, autofocus intelligence, and video flexibility. But reality matters. The A7R V is still an outstanding professional camera that delivers incredible image quality and dependable performance right now. If your work revolves around landscapes, architecture, product photography, or controlled studio environments, the A7R V already does that job exceptionally well. Waiting only makes sense if the rumored gains in speed, tracking, and hybrid capability genuinely impact how you work. Let's talk about the uncomfortable parts. Price rumors place the A7R VI somewhere between $4,200 and $4,500. That firmly positions it as a professional tool, not a casual upgrade. Timing also matters. Based on Sony's release patterns, an announcement in early 2026 seems likely, with availability potentially stretching further. Waiting 6 to 12 months is not trivial when real projects are on the line. Gear sitting in rumors does not earn money. Cameras in your hands do. Here's the bottom line. If the leaks hold up, the Sony A7R VI could push high-resolution mirrorless cameras further than ever, blending extreme detail with smarter autofocus and stronger hybrid performance. That's exciting, but it's not a must for everyone. The A7R V is still an incredibly capable camera today. If your work demands more speed and flexibility, the A7R VI may be worth waiting for. What's your move? Wait or buy now? Drop your thoughts in the comments You know that split second before the perfect shot. Your subject's moving, your fingers half pressed, and you're praying the camera keeps up? That's the moment that built the Sony A9's legacy. No blackout, no hesitation, just pure speed. It wasn't about megapixels. It was about trust. Then came the A9 III, the first full-frame global shutter. Groundbreaking? Absolutely. Perfect? Not quite. Now, with rumors of the A9 IV heating up, the question is, will it fix what the A9 III couldn't? Let's find out. Let's be real. The A9 III was bold. On paper, it looked unbeatable. But in real-world use, it showed that innovation often comes with compromise. The biggest issue? Image quality. That global shutter forced a base ISO of 250, instantly cutting into dynamic range. Low-light shots started to show noise. Shadow recovery wasn't as clean as rivals like the Nikon Z9 or Canon R3. Then came the resolution problem. 24.6 megapixels. Great for sports, yes, but limiting for anyone who wanted room to crop or print large. Even the viewfinder, a blazing 240 Hz refresh rate, took a hit in sharpness. Add to that the slower CF Express Type A cards, and the frustration grew. For a $6,000 flagship, almost perfect wasn't enough. The A9 III wasn't a failure. It was a milestone. The first step towards something greater. And that's where the A9 IV enters the picture. If the leaks are true, Sony's cooking up a real comeback. We're talking about a new stacked CMOS sensor, rumored between 33 to 36 megapixels. That's a sweet spot. More detail without losing speed. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The burst rate might actually drop from 120 frames per second to around 60 to 90 frames per second, but supposedly it's sustained. That means long, continuous bursts in RAW with full autofocus and exposure tracking, not short bursts that choke the buffer. Then there's talk of an AI autofocus overhaul, not just faces or animals, but insects, vehicles, even sports gear. Imagine a camera smart enough to track a tennis ball mid-flight or lock onto a cyclist's helmet. That's real-world usability, not just spec sheet bragging. And for video creators, we might be looking at 6K or even 6.2K open gate recording, using the full sensor so you can crop, reframe, or shoot verticals later without losing resolution. That's a huge deal for hybrid shooters. Now here's where it gets really juicy. Behind the scenes, Sony's sensor division recently revealed a 105 megapixel global shutter sensor, codenamed IMX927. It's designed for industrial use, but it proves something massive. Sony's cracked the code. They found a way to balance speed, resolution, and noise control. The three things global shutters have always struggled to juggle. So even if the A9 IV doesn't use that exact chip, the underlying tech could trickle down. If Sony manages to bring that level of efficiency to a full-frame body, we might finally see ISO 100 performance with global shutter speed. That's not just progress, that's history. So what do we want to see in the A9 IV? Let's lay it out. Lower base ISO. Bring it back to 100 for cleaner images. More dynamic range and shadow flexibility. A high-res EVF that stays crisp even at max refresh rates. Switch to CF Express Type B cards. Faster, cheaper, more reliable. A bigger buffer for sustained RAW bursts. Smarter ergonomics, deeper grip, better photo-video switch, cleaner button layout. If Sony nails even half of these, the A9 IV could become the ultimate camera for sports, wildlife, and event shooters. At the end of the day, the Sony A9 IV isn't just about specs. It's about trust. Can it deliver every frame, every time? The A9 III proved what's possible, but the A9 IV could define what's next. If it brings cleaner ISO, smarter AI, better ergonomics, and that rumored 36 megapixel speed boost, we might see a new benchmark for pro shooters. Because we don't just want fast, we want effortless speed. What do you expect from the A9 IV? Drop a comment, like, and subscribe for more deep dives like this.